The evening was meant to stay quiet, but the moment Bambi flung open her mouth to reveal what she called the real truth about Jasmine and Yandy, the entire love and hip-hop world flipped upside down. Fans can't stop rewinding, whispering, debating, and trying to decode every single word she let slip. According to Bambi, this connection isn't casual. It's deep, secret, and enough to rattle shaky alliances. Just when everyone thought they could catch a breath, Rayface barged in, cranking the tension to a dangerous peak. His reaction? Far from calm or planned. It was raw, booming, and borderline menacing. He didn't just talk. He made it crystal clear that anyone stepping against him or his crew would regret it. The room froze. The crowd gasped. Social media exploded within minutes. Was Bambi spilling truth, stirring drama, or dropping a bomb that could shatter friendships and expose lies? Sitting across the table with a serene smile, Bambi's eyes carried the kind of weight that warned you she wasn't playing. Her voice started soft, then rose as she leaned toward Zell, delivering a line that made everyone in the room squirm. She insisted Jasmine and Yandy shared a bond so secret, so tight, that even the Frost family would stumble if it ever surfaced. This wasn't a casual friendship, she teased. It was a calculated link, where loyalty and betrayal blurred together. Zell blinked, torn between laughing it off or demanding more. But before he could speak, Bambi leaned back, exhaling a sigh that felt less like air leaving lungs and more like tension escaping a room. She claimed whispers had reached her for months, rumors of Jasmine and Yandy plotting behind the scenes, moving in ways no one expected. The instant the words dropped, a heavy silence settled, the kind that hits when the truth feels almost unbelievable. Fans couldn't stop rewinding, dissecting every line. Was it envy? A stunt for attention? Or was Bambi really unveiling a thread that could unravel the entire circle's relationships? Social media ignited immediately. Timelines flooded with clips, screenshots, and fan theories growing exponentially. One camp swore Bambi was just exaggerating to stay relevant, while one camp claimed Bambi was stretching the truth for attention. The other swore she was finally voicing what had been obvious all along. But peace didn't last. The second Rayface caught wind of the chatter, the room went from tense to volcanic. He didn't take kindly to secrets being spilled without a heads up, and his response was pure intimidation, slicing through every conversation with a heated edge. He made it brutally clear. No one had the right to drag his name or his crew into baseless drama. "Anybody got something to say about me? Be ready for the fallout," he growled, his words sharp enough to freeze even the farthest spectators. Eyes flickered nervously across the room, waiting to see who would answer. Jasmine, trapped in the storm, shook her head, frustration painted on her face. She insisted it wasn't true. Bambi's words were twisted rumors meant to ignite chaos. "I never said nothing about you. I never plotted with nobody," she stated, voice firm, but a flicker of unease betrayed her calm. Yandy, trying to stay composed, raised a hand for patience before speaking. "Look, I got my own struggles. I don't have time for fake stories about me," she said. But by then, doubt was already thick in the air. The way Bambi dropped her lines, dripping with confidence, was enough to make everyone pause and wonder if there might actually be truth tangled in the chaos. That's the danger of this world. Once a rumor escapes, reality doesn't matter. It grows, twists, and takes on a life of its own. Fans grabbed onto it instantly, bending it, reshaping it, until the original words barely counted. Within hours, social media exploded. Debates sparked, old photos of Jasmine and Yandy surfaced, presented as hidden receipts no one dared admit. Bambi didn't flinch. She doubled down, warning Zell that if the truth ever surfaced fully, the Frost family would have no choice but to confront what they'd been hiding. "Everybody thinks Rashidita been hurt. Everybody thinks Kirk been betrayed. But what if I told you they've all been smiling in each other's faces this whole time?" she declared, voice steady, tone heavy with conviction. Zell shook his head, glancing at the cameras as if to ask, "Is this really happening?" But Bambi wasn't finished. Leaning in, almost whispering, she painted a picture of late-night calls, secret meetups, and subtle gestures that only the sharp-eyed would notice. "They think they slick, but you can't hide that forever," she muttered, tension rippling through the room. Rayface, still pacing, let out a laugh devoid of humor, sharp, mocking, and the crowd shifted nervously. "Y'all really want to test me? Tonight!" he barked, voice louder, charged. "You really think speaking in riddles is gonna keep you safe?" Rayface snapped. "It won't. Anyone dragging my name or my crew, they're about to learn the hard way." The warning hung thick, but instead of quieting the room, it fanned the flames. Yandy, visibly irritated, crossed her arms and shook her head. "I don't know what's worse," she said sharply. "People spreading lies, or people threatening violence over lies?" Her frustration was clear, yet her composure stayed intact. Still, the tension between her and Bambi crackled like electricity, and fans watching at home could feel it through their screens. Every word cut like a weapon. Every gesture was a declaration. Every silence left a storm of questions. Even the usual drama avoiders couldn't look away. They knew they were witnessing a moment destined to be replayed and dissected. In a world fueled by alliances, betrayals, and storylines blurring reality and script, one leak, one whispered secret can change everything. Bambi had chosen her moment to shake the table, and the fallout was already underway. Whispers became debates. Debates erupted into fiery arguments. Friendships started cracking under the weight of speculation, and nobody saw how fast the chaos would escalate next. The night was about to spiral completely out of control. As more voices jumped in, adding their own versions, receipts, and threats, what started as a single leak had exploded into a full-blown storm. Whispers grew louder with each passing minute, one person after another convinced they held the missing piece nobody else could see. It was no longer just Bambi's claim, it was the chaos that follows when someone rattles the table and everyone scrambles to gather the pieces. Aunties in the audience leaned in, straining to catch every word, while younger fans whipped out their phones, desperate to be the first to post clips online. Social media was already ablaze, hashtags with Jasmine and Yandy trending by the second. Zell tried to restore calm, hands raised, urging everyone to breathe, but his voice barely pierced the storm. Bambi stayed locked on Yandy, who could no longer mask her frustration. "So this is what we doing now?" Yandy muttered, shaking her head. "Making up stories because real life isn't exciting enough," Bambi shot back instantly. "Girl, you know what I said. If it's fake, why you so pressed?" Her tone was razor sharp, almost mocking, and the crowd collectively gasped. Jasmine, clearly uneasy, turned away to whisper something only the closest could catch, then faced forward, raising her voice. "I don't owe nobody no explanations," but she said it once and loud. She wasn't part of any secret alliance, wasn't sneaking around with anyone, and wasn't covering up a thing for anyone. Her denial sounded strong, but denying never kills a rumor. It just lights the fire brighter. Fans at home clipped Jasmine's words immediately, layering them with old videos, hunting for contradictions, and questioning why she sounded so defensive if she had nothing to hide. Rayface, meanwhile, prowled the room like a predator. His earlier threats had rattled everyone, but now he seemed ready to explode again. Pointing a finger, he barked, "I said what I said. Anybody got something to do with me? They can go to sleep. Simple as that." Chaos erupted. Chairs scraped, people stood, voices clashed in a thunderous chorus. One side demanded receipts, another begged for calm. Through it all, the energy was raw, electric, unstoppable. Bambi leaned into it, refusing to retreat. "Everybody want to play innocent, but I see what I see," she shouted, slicing through the noise. "They don't post everything, they don't show everything. But believe me, they're closer than they letting on." Zell turned to her, desperation in his eyes. "Bambi, you gotta know what you're saying. You don't think this can ruin families, reputations, people's lives?" She met him dead on. "If it's the truth, then it deserves to come out, no matter who it hurts." The line landed hard, instantly becoming the quote of the night online. Captions, memes, endless reposts. Some hailed her courage, others slammed her for drama chasing. Either way, Bambi's words were everywhere. Yandy, refusing to back down, stood, locking eyes with her. "Listen, you don't get to rewrite my life. You don't get to spin my story for your entertainment. Think you know me? You don't." Her voice trembled slightly, but her presence dominated the room. Bambi tilted her head, smirking as if the outburst only proved her point. "Point," she said slowly, each word cutting like a knife. Funny how the loudest one in the room always, got the most to hide. Gasps rippled through the space as Rayface slammed his hand on the table, the thud echoing like a war drum. "Enough! You want to talk secrets? Fine. But keep my people's names out your mouth. True or lies, anybody crossing. This line better be ready to face me." The threat hung thick, suffocating. Jasmine's eyes widened. Rashida shifted uneasily, and Kirk avoided eye contact, staring at the table like the answers were carved in the grain. No one knew if Rayface was bluffing or deadly serious. His reputation suggested the latter, and that uncertainty fueled the chaos even more. Outside, fans dissected every moment. One tweeted, "The way Kirk didn't even look up tells me everything I need." Another replied, "Nah, Yandy too defensive. Bambi definitely onto something." Speculation and frenzy exploded, unstoppable. It was exactly what producers dreamed of, and exactly what the cast dreaded. Arguments raged late into the night, voices crashing and rolling like stormy waves. At one point, Spice tried to intervene, raising her voice over the chaos. "We're supposed to be celebrating, not tearing each other apart," she pleaded. But even her words couldn't douse the fire Bambi had ignited. Undeterred, she turned to Zell with a weary, knowing smile. "See, this is what happens when you draw by. A little truth in a room built on lies." Another verbal dagger. Yandy rolled her eyes, but the damage was done. Social media erupted instantly. The clip went viral, captions dripping with bombshells and game-changer hype. Hours later, the energy refused to settle. Jasmine sat arms crossed, done with the chaos, while Yandy shook her head as if willing the words away. Kirk whispered something to Rashida, the cameras catching only a blur, and that single unclear moment fueled endless fan theories online. Rayface, refusing to back down, stood tall, pointing at the cameras. "Y'all think this is entertainment? This is my life. Play with it if you want, but don't be surprised when you get burned." His final outburst froze the room. Silence for the first time all night. No one moved. No one spoke. In that moment, it was crystal clear. Bambi's leak wasn't just talk. It was a storm with no end in sight. The whispers, the tension, the silent stares, all told the same story. This wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. The silence, after Rayface's warning, was almost heavier than the chaos before it. Everyone froze, eyes darting around, waiting for someone to break the tension. Cameras captured every twitch, every flicker of unease, and fans at home leaned in, straining to decode the hidden truths in those uneasy faces. Bambi didn't flinch. She leaned back, smirking, crossing her legs slowly like she had already claimed victory. "You see," she said, her voice cutting through the hush. "When people threaten instead of explain, that's how you know the truth hurts." Her words poured gasoline on the fire. Yandy snapped, springing up and throwing her hands in the air. "Girl, you are not about to sit here and paint me like some villain in your little story." Her voice cracked under the strain, fury and frustration evident. "You don't know what I've been through. You don't know the battles I fight every day, and you think you can toss my name around like it's nothing? You're out of line." Taporin. Room buzzed. Some nodded, others exchanged wary glances, but no one could deny Yandy had shifted the energy again. Jasmine tapped her nails against the table, finally speaking in a low, steady tone. "I don't even know why I'm entertaining this nonsense, but let me be clear. I've got no secret tie with Yandy, no hidden deal with Kirk or Rashida. Whatever. Y'all think you saw wrong." But Bambi wasn't backing down. The Bahamas trip? Fake. The late night calls? Fake. The matching posts y'all accidentally liked at the same time was fake too? Bambi asked, eyebrow arched, listing it all so casually it sounded like she had receipts, even if she hadn't shown them. Gasps rippled through the room. Suddenly Jasmine's denials didn't carry the same weight. Fans online instantly scoured. Matching posts, digging through old vacation photos, and within minutes, screenshots were circulating as evidence. Zell rubbed his temples, voice tired. Bambi, do you realize what you're saying could break up families? Do you even care about the damage? Damage is already done, Bambi replied coolly. I'm not the one lying to millions every season. I'm just telling it like it is. Rayface let out a sharp, humorless laugh. Now what you're doing is playing with fire, and if you keep playing, you're gonna get burned, he warned, voice dropping, almost growling. Rashida finally spoke, voice trembling with equal parts fear and anger. I don't know who fed you. This, but my marriage ain't your storyline, Bambi. You've been bitter since things didn't go your way, and now you want to drag me, Kirk, and everyone else into your mess. The words hit hard, but Bambi leaned forward, smile unfazed. Oh, Rashida, if only it was just me saying it. But the streets talk, baby. The fans ain't blind. You can hide a lot, but you can't hide forever. The room erupted again. Voices collided, chairs scraped, and Spice jumped in, shouting, Enough, enough, y'all! This ain't the way. But nobody listened. Once secrets spill, there's no putting them back. Outside, fan reactions soared. Instagram lives ran back to back. TikTok edits flooded feeds, and YouTube commentary channels were already breaking down the scandal. Some praised Bambi for her courage. Others tore her apart, calling her bitter, messy, and attention-hungry. Either way, she had won. The conversation was exploding. Yandy slammed her hand on the table, rattling glasses. Let me tell you something. I'm not here to play games. If you got proof, show it. If not, keep my name out your mouth. I don't play about my reputation. The demand for evidence only fueled fans further, scouring the internet for anything to confirm or disprove her claims. One blurry photo of Kirk, Rashida, and Jasmine in the same restaurant surfaced immediately. And though the photo was months old, it was enough to ignite the comment sections. See, they've always been cool, one fan typed, while another shot, back, y'all reaching? They just happened to be in the same spot. Meanwhile, Rayface grew more agitated by the second. He pulled out his phone, waving it like he was about to drop evidence. You want receipts? I got them. But when I show them, don't nobody cry about being exposed. The threat of receipts silenced the room for a heartbeat. Jasmine looked panicked, Yandy fumed, and Bambi leaned forward like she'd been waiting for this exact moment. Go ahead, she taunted. Let the world see what you've been hiding. It's about time. But instead of revealing anything, Rayface slid his phone back into his pocket, smirking. Nah, not tonight. I'll let y'all sweat a little longer. That's what y'all deserve. The tease only stoked the fire. Fans were now convinced there was something real to hide, speculation reaching a fever pitch. Hashtags like Slasher Thaddy Frost Family, Shark Secret, and Polly T trended overnight, pressure mounting by the hour. Behind the scenes, production scrambled to control the fallout, but it was too late. Once the internet seizes a story, it runs wild, untamed. Bambi's voice cut through again, softer but no less cutting. See, I don't even need to prove nothing. The way y'all reacting proves it for me. And she wasn't wrong. The shouting, the defensiveness, the threats, it all looked suspicious to fans. Even doubters began to wonder if maybe she was telling the truth. As the night dragged on, friendships looked more fragile than ever. Rashida avoided Jasmine's eyes. Kirk stayed silent. Yandy stood rigid as a statue. And Rayface's anger simmered just beneath the surface. Through it all, Bambi sat with that same smirk, as if she had been waiting for this storm from the very beginning. The tension refused to ease. Every glance, every sigh, every whispered word carried the weight of suspicion. By now, it wasn't just Bambi's claim anymore. It had become a war of egos, reputations, and survival in a circle where even the tiniest rumor could leave a permanent scar. Jasmine finally stood, voice louder than all night combined. I'm tired of being everybody's target. Every season, it's Jasmine this, Jasmine that, like I don't got a life of my own. I didn't ask to be dragged back into this mess. And I sure ain't part of whatever fantasy y'all trying to sell. She locked eyes with Rashida, tone sharp, but tinged with hurt. And you? After all those speeches you gave, acting like I ruined your family, now they're saying you've been cool with me this whole time. So what was it, Rashida? All that pain? For the cameras? Silence fell again. Rashida pressed her lips into a tight line as Kirk shifted uncomfortably. Finally, she spoke, voice low but steady. I did feel pain. I did feel betrayal. But people change. Situations change. Maybe I forgave when nobody expected me to, but don't twist that into something it's not. Bambi leaned forward, seizing the moment. So you admit y'all been cool? Vacations, dinners, late-night talks? All that's true? Rashida's eyes narrowed. I admitted nothing of the sort. Don't put words in my mouth. Yet the hesitation, the lack of a firm denial, was enough to send fans into a frenzy. Clips of her expression went viral within minutes. Captioned, "Caught slipping," and the truth always shows in the eyes. Yandy, exhausted from the back and forth, threw her hands up. I don't know why my name's even in this. I didn't ask to be dragged into Rashida and Jasmine's story. If they're cool, let them be cool. But don't drag me down to make your headline, Bambi. Bambi's smirk widened. Oh, but see, your name's been in it from the start. Don't act like you're just a bystander. You knew, and you played your part quietly, hoping nobody would notice. The jab cut deep. Yandy composure cracked. You don't know nothing about me, she snapped, voice shaking with anger. You want to make me your villain? Fine, but don't be surprised when the truth about you comes out too. The threat shifted the air, and for the first time, Bambi's smirk faltered slightly. Rayface stepped in, booming. This is exactly why I said what I said. Y'all feeding on lies, dragging names, starting wars over nothing. I don't care who's friends with who. I don't care who went on what trip. But if you keep pushing, don't be surprised when somebody pushes back harder. Rayface's words weren't just a warning, they carried the weight of a promise. Jasmine's eyes widened. Rashida shook her head, and Kirk muttered something under his breath. The camera zoomed in, capturing every blink, twitch, and tremor of unease. Then, unexpectedly, a voice from the back, the one that hadn't spoken, all night cut through the chaos. It was Spice, but her tone had changed. Y'all acting like you the only ones with secrets. But trust me, if all the truth came out tonight, half this room wouldn't even face the cameras tomorrow. The line landed like a bomb. Gasps erupted, eyes darted, and even Bambi looked caught off guard. What do you mean by that? She demanded, confidence flickering. Spice only smiled, lips curling into a knowing grin. Let's just say some of y'all throwing stones when your own house is made of glass. The cryptic warning sent fans into a frenzy, online. Theories exploded. Who was Spice talking about? What secret was she hinting at? And why, for the first time all night, did Bambi look unsettled? As arguments raged, tension thickened. Kirk finally stood, voice firm but weary. This has got to stop. Everybody's got something to hide. Everybody's got skeletons. But this ain't how family's supposed to be. This ain't how friends are supposed to be. Rashida touched his arm, nodding, though her expression betrayed inner conflict. Jasmine crossed her arms, refusing to soften. Yandy paced, muttering under her breath. And through it all, Bambi sat quietly, her earlier confidence dimmed but not gone. She scanned every face, every reaction, before finally speaking again. Believe me or don't, it don't matter. The truth always comes out. Maybe not tonight. Maybe not tomorrow, but one day. Everybody's going to see I wasn't lying. Bambi's words landed like the final spark on a powder keg. Fans online immediately declared the night a turning point, a scene that would be remembered for years in love and hip-hop history. Hashtags blew up. Blogs raced to post recaps. Gossip sites spun theories faster than anyone could keep up. The night ended with no resolution. No clear answers, no confirmed receipts. And that was exactly the point. The uncertainty kept fans hooked, desperate for every next detail. As the cast filed out, tension still thick in the air, the cameras caught one last chilling shot. Rayface, standing tall, eyes burning, muttering under his breath, "This ain't over, not by a long shot." Quiet in the chaos, but anyone paying attention knew it wasn't just for show. Something bigger was brewing. When the lights dimmed and the credits rolled, the drama didn't end. It shifted. From the room to the streets, from whispers to headlines, from speculation to obsession. The secret, whatever it was, had already done its damage. It cracked alliances, stirred old wounds, and left fans begging for answers. By the end of the night, one thing was clear. The story was far from finished. Bambi's leak shook the room. Jasmine's denials only fueled confusion. Yandy frustration spilled over. Rayface's threats kept everyone on edge. Rashida and Kirk's silence added to the tension, and Spice's cryptic warning pushed it all to a new level. Fans remained divided. Some swearing Bambi finally spoke the truth, others waiting for the next explosive reveal. Nobody else dared to admit it, while some swear it's all a twisted storyline designed to keep the cameras rolling. But one thing can't be denied: the impact. Friendships cracked, old wounds reopened, and the entire love and hip-hop circle was left more divided than ever. The real question now: what's next? Will Rashida and Jasmine finally spill the truth? Will Rayface's threats escalate into something bigger? And did Spice really hint at even deeper secrets lurking behind the scenes? The streets are buzzing, social media is ablaze, and fans can't stop debating what's real and what's staged. That's exactly why this story isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Bambi was telling the truth about Jasmine and Yandy's shocking secret? Or was it just another messy rumor? Did Rayface cross the line with his warning, or was he just protecting his circle? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation isn't ending here. Hit that like button, and if you enjoyed the breakdown, subscribe so you never miss the next piece of tea. Turn on your notifications, because the drama is only getting messier from here.